Doodlers! Usually when we think of art, we don't necessarily think of the power of the doodle. We're going to learn about its importance for our brains, and then we are going to meet two artists, MrDoodle and Doodle Boy. After we meet those artists, we are going to create our own doodle spaghetti.
Welcome to Hilroy Labs. I'm your host, Ted, and today we're talking about doodling. You know, when you mindlessly scribble drawings in your notebook while something else is happening? Well, here's the thing. See, doodling, not actually mindless at all. You see, when you're doodling, your brain is actually using three different styles of learning. Visual, because you're, looking at what you're doing. Kinesthetic, because you're using your hands to draw. And auditory, bam, because you're processing your information by listening. And because you're using three different styles of learning, you're actually able to process information way better than if you were just sitting and staring. And because of that, good things for the brain. Many official science people say that doodling actually improves your sense of creativity. Since you're able to absorb information in a different way, you're able to find solutions you would never have thought of before. Doodling also improves your focus and concentration. And this guy over here, he may look like he's daydreaming, but doodling actually helps your brain focus instead of drifting off. And finally, memory. Studies show that doodlers are able to recall facts 30% better than non-doodlers. I knew that. I did. Psh. Now, of course, there are certain times that doodling is probably not the best thing to be doing, like writing an exam, driving a car, at a wedding, on a first date, defusing a bomb, crossing the street, riding a bike. All of these times, terrible times to be doodling. But the rest of the time, doodle away. It's good for your brain. And so is subscribing.
I used to draw over my tables and chairs and things like that and fill up my sketchbooks at school in the margins with drawings, and people just used to know me as the kid who doodled everywhere and who was always drawing. So I thought, that's what I want to present to the world as an artist. I want to label myself Mr.Doodle, the person who doodles everywhere. I make them by drawing a little bit and then adding something to it, and it grows out kind of like a doodle virus is what I call it, and it kind of entangles and wraps itself around like graffiti spaghetti. In the future, I want to take over huge towns with doodling. I want to do really big stuff, theme parks, and as big as you can think, that's what I want to aim for. Thanks very much and have a doodly day.
Hello, my name is Joe and I am the Doodle Boy. So a few years ago, when I was younger, I started doing more realistic, and for some reason it just came over me that I should start doing cartoon, and it's just nice to see all my creations coming to life when I draw them. When I finish my work, I normally get a whiteboard, get a pen and just doodle on the whiteboard. I would get told to stop and help my partner, who would probably be struggling, so.
Hi, I'm Greg Whale and I'm Joseph's dad. He's been doodling for as long as I can remember, but we only really sort of noticed how talented he was about 2 years ago. He started to open up his imagination and create his own characters, and he seems to have a never-ending amount of these characters in his head.
It makes me feel happy that I can express myself, because all the creations just come from my head and they just pop out, and I can dream of them just coming to life, and like me shaking hands with them and giving them high fives.
We thought that Joe wasn't quite getting as much creativity out as he needed to, so my partner and I started to look for local art classes, and we came across Bloom down in Coleham in Shrewsbury. and he's absolutely loved it since he started there, and he's excelled, and he's been doing all sorts of different kinds of arts that he wouldn't normally have done. During a conversation with Kerry, the owner, Joe was talking about his doodle book that he got at home. Kerry wanted to have a look to see what sort of ability Joe had, and everyone's been blown away by the quality of his doodles. From that, Kerry at Bloom posted one of Joe's pages on Instagram, and the restaurant number 4 contacted Kerry direct to see whether it would be possible for Joe to maybe go up there and do a piece on the wall.
When my dad first brought it up, I was really excited, but I thought it was going to be really small, and then when I looked at the wall, it was ginormous. I was like, how am I going to fit all the ideas in here? But then, I don't know how, but they just sprung to life.
So we first got there, and we was expecting a picture frame size doodle on the wall. We spoke to Toby when we got there, and he moved a couple of things because they were in the middle of renovations, and said, "You've got the whole wall," and it's literally a whole wall, probably 8 foot by 8 foot or something. It's by far the biggest thing Joe's ever had to take on.
My favourite characters, I like drawing like food because like it's really funny to see it coming to life. Like other artists, they've succeeded, and I really want to be an artist when I grow up.
Today's learning target is I can create a doodle spaghetti using traditional or digital materials of my choice. If you're not sure where to start, you can use your iPad to look up doodle prompts on Google. If you have an idea but aren't sure how to draw it, look up how to draw blank doodle, and it usually has a step-by-step. If you have time, feel free to fill the whole page. When you have your doodle how you like it, we would also recommend outlining and coloring your work. It's up to you though to make the call as the artist. When you're done, don't forget to post to Seesaw.